So I want to talk about something today, right? And so I actually have two video ideas. One's coming tomorrow, one's coming today. First of all, I want to talk about Gambit and how he's actually, in my opinion, bad for Marvel Rivals. And the reason why I say this is because the whole reason why people were begging for another healer is because they wanted to have some variance in what healers were being played, right? And so like they were asking to replace like Luna, Invis, and Cloak, I guess, in order to like, you know, not be just using the same healers over and over again. But it wasn't the people playing Mantis and Adam Warlock that were begging for more healers. It was the people playing Luna, Invis, and all of them for another healer. And yet we got another healer that is more so like Adam Warlock and Ultron, where he focuses way more on damage than healing. However, that's not to say you can't heal with him. But that comes into the issue where he's too powerful. He's too good. And the reason why I say that, right, isn't necessarily because of his, like, it's not necessarily because his healing is super good, right? Like, his healing is good, don't get me wrong. Like, his base healing is very good. But that's only one aspect of it. It's also the fact that he has a cleansing ability. He has a cleansing ability. Can I even... Do I have a way of knowing? Okay, so, yeah. While healing, trigger flush empowerment, where the deck is active, trigger flush empowerment, reduce healing. Wait, okay, healing hearts. Okay, so is it bridge boost or purifying? Probably purifying. Yeah, purify them. So it gives him a cleanse essentially, which, I mean, if you use him right, you know, he can do very well. Right, because if you use your dash to get out and then cleanse the entire team that has been like strange ulted, you know, that's really good, right? But like it's also like, I keep saying like, I'm so sorry. He has survivability, right? Because notice how earlier I compared him to Adam Warlock and the fact that he does more damage than healing. And he does, thanks to his damage boost, do more healing or more damage than healing, like by a good margin, I'd say, which, like I said before, the healing is still wonderful, but his damage is so high that players playing him will want to do damage rather than healing, especially if they're just playing flex rather than being an actual healer player. And yes, before you say anything, I'm aware that the role is strategist. However, there's not a strategist in the game without healing because, welcome to the game. You need healers. People complaining about not enough heals, it's because healing is the most important part about strategists. Whenever you say you want two healers, you mean you want two strategists that heal well, such as Inviswoman, Gambit, Luna, stuff like that. You don't want an Atom and a Mantis together because although they are both still very good, they're not doing that much healing. So that's something I'll get into a little more about whenever I talk about Rogue and how I feel like she doesn't deserve to be a healer. But that's a whole video on its own. Gambit does provide the healing if he just decides to. So it's kind of like Adam, where he can do a lot of healing if he wants to, but honestly, you might benefit more from not doing that, right? And unlike Adam, his ult comes back really quickly and is basically guaranteed to have good, really good value, because this is the main reason why I think that Gambit is super overpowered. The other units that have really overpowered, or the other heroes that have Jesus, I can't speak, really overpowered ults, like Luna, right? Or, I mean, even Inviswoman, her ult is really good, but it's not as good as Luna's once was, at the very least, right? Luna's ult used to be, I think, 10 seconds. Either 10 or 12. I think it might be 10 currently, I don't remember, but whichever the case is, it used to be 2 seconds longer than it is now, which you were basically indestructible during that ult, right? However, that ult, you have to be around the Luna. So the Luna has to stick with her team, which, depending on the team, you know, you might struggle to stick inside of it. And even though it does have damage boost, it does not heal and deal damage boost at the same time. Gambit does not suffer that same problem. He can give his entire team the ult including himself, by the way. He can apply it to himself and then continue to attack with himself, so he can get a double damage buff, which is absolutely insane considering how much damage he does already. But it's not just the damage buff. It's not just the fact that he can heal his team from, I think, an unlimited amount of range, just as long as you get them in your ult, and then you can, like, run away or whatever and do whatever. I'm fairly certain that's the way that it works. And I have no idea if his ult lasts after he dies. That's something that I have no idea about. I guess I can try that. But yeah, look at the range on this, by the way. And it does, in fact, go through walls. That's really far range. And then remember, it does apply really good healing over time. It does apply really good healing over time. And it does seem like it dies whenever Gambit does. But one of Gambit's main strengths is his survivability. He has a double dash. If you're using his cooldowns right, he has 2 dashes that are really long. So his survivability is really good, not to mention his ult. Not to mention his ult has really good movement speed and jump boost. It is the only ability in the game that gives jump boost, by the way. I just want to mention that. The only ability in the game that gives jump boost. And by the way, I haven't even mentioned his anti-heal, which, I mean, that's only really considerable for his offense, but it is still something to consider, the fact that he has the ability to apply anti-heal, which can completely counter healer ults sometimes. Especially since he has AoE on it rather than only being able to apply it to one person, like Blade does, without his ult. Obviously, Blade's ult applies it to an AoE. But that is something to consider about just how much he has. Like, is he difficult to play? Yes, absolutely. But another thing about him is that he gets his ult really quickly. So let me sum up what his ult does, right? His ult has really good range, can apply to any of his team as long as they're in his line of sight, and they can even be through walls. But it is a really far range. I think it's like probably 40-50 meters, something like that. And it gives movement speed up, it gives jump boost, and it gives healing over time, and it gives a damage buff. I don't think I said that already. But there's also, at the end, there's an explosion. There's an explosion that deals, I'd say, probably, 50 HP? Which isn't something to ignore. If you're really close to somebody, right? Or if your entire team is right on top of somebody, they can one-shot. Because remember, everybody has that explosive effect. So, and I wouldn't doubt that the explosive effect actually does healing over time. Oh, right. It just, not even healing over time, just healing. But it doesn't. Keep that in mind. It does not do that. However, remember, it does give a good amount of damage or healing over time. So, Mantis's ult, right? Mantis has far worse survivability, probably far worse damage, and a far worse ult, just because her ult is the same as Luna's with the AoE thing, with the circle around her. Except she can fire during her ult. However, she has to stay near her teammates, right? And so, like, it is harder for them to get the full value. And I don't think... Well, I know for a fact it doesn't give jump boost. I don't know how much better the healing is, but I'm sure it is better. Because Gambit's ult healing, although it is good, it is not the best of all time, It is not the best in the game. Like, it is probably just second to Jeff's healing, but I don't know the numbers on that, so don't hold that to me. But the fact that it does so much all at once while also being able to be recovered so quickly. Like, okay, let me turn off no ability cooldown, right? Let me do that. I just want to see how quickly, theoretically, can I get ult back. So, like, because remember, he does damage and he damage and he heals, right? So, like, I'm just going to hold left click. That's already 20%. And that's not using any abilities. That's not with a tank to farm on. That's not with a super high amount of damage being applied to my team to farm with it either. Like, I'm not even using my damage buff on here, and I already have 50%. Like, the fact that he can get his ult so fast, benefit himself with his ult and his entire team without having a limited range of, like, circle AoE, and the fact that it gives better survivability to everybody, making ults super hard to hit on them since they can just jump out of it, you know? And, like, again, movement speed. It's so much to consider. And then there's also the fact that you can stack his ult with Rocket's ult and give an insane amount of damage to your entire team, right? Like, there's so much to Gambit that he's got to be nerfed, right? He's got to be nerfed, and he does not solve any problems about the whole, like, we need more healers thing, because the whole thing about the we need more healers thing, like, the idea that we need more healers, is that we don't have enough healers to be able to pick and choose from. But now, it feels like you have to either play Gambit or Invis, or you're just going to get ran down without triple heals, at least, right? Because, like, even if you're going full-blown healer on Gambit, you get his ult, which allows for your entire team to just push in and destroy everybody. So, like, even if you want to play super healing-focused Gambit, well, guess what? You are still providing a lot of offensive pressure. And then not to mention he's anti-dive, right? Like, he's definitely hardcore anti-dive. So, he has effectively no weakness other than, like, the just play style, right? Like, it heavily... Like, if somebody's good at playing Gambit or, like, good at just being a team player or whatever, this guy's crazy. Because, like, it's not like I'm super crazy at him, right? I don't have a lot of time on him. Damn, reloading. I don't have a lot of time on him at all. Like, clearly, I'm not good at him. And yeah, I'm willing to bet I could still get so much value out of him. Because remember, he also has a chain heal, which can just basically heal everybody back up to full out of fucking nowhere. Which is always the thing that annoys me most about Adam Warlock, is that just somebody can go from having 1 HP to full HP in the middle of nowhere, which is so annoying as a tank player because you don't have any one-shot combos, for the most part at least. So it's one of those things where, like, Gambit's not good for the game in terms of, like, balance. He's not. The game is not balanced right now, especially since they also buffed every fucking healer, pretty much. So, like, dive is just dead in Season 5. Dive is just effectively non-existent in Season 5. And there's, like, not even an argument about it. Gambit really did lopside the entire balance of everything, I think. However, there is one thing. He does not... I don't think he has any CC. Other than anti-heal. I don't think he has anything other... Oh, wait, no, he has a launch. Never fucking mind. He has a launch up, which I think can cancel ults, depending on the hero and stuff like that. So, like... And it's got AoE all the way around him. Because remember, his cleanse is also all the way around him. By a pretty large area. And then, like, his healing, even from afar, even though you might think it would be bad because of his spread shot, it's not bad at all. Because his fire speed is just so good. Like, he's actually absurd. He's uber busted. He's crazy. He's not good for the game. At least not right now. He needs to be nerfed. At least if you're going to keep the game balanced, right? So, I think he just needs to have changes rather than nerfs, right? He needs to have something changed. Like, I think there are changes they could do without technically nerfing him. Like, they don't need to nerf his healing. They don't need to nerf his damage. They don't need to, like, get rid of his ult, you know? Like, there are just changes they could make. Oh, by the way, his dash can heal as well. He also has a lot of self-healing. I completely forgot to mention that. He's one of the few healers that actually has really good self-healing, because he heals himself in this form. He heals himself with this form, and his right click heals him. So it's one of those things where, like, he does everything. He does everything, because remember, he also applies anti-heal. So it's just stupid. He's such a stupid healer to have, because, like, he does everything, which basically completely contradicts the whole idea of we need more healers to choose from, because he just does everything. He literally does everything, and he does it amazingly. And I just, you know, I don't think it's balanced. I hope. However, I will go ahead and say this at the end of the video. If you are still here watching, I want you to know I still like Gambit as a character, and I still like that he's in the game, and I like that I like his character design. I love him. He's a super fun character to play. I just don't think he's balanced, and I don't think he's good for the competitive side of this game. I probably should have specified that earlier, but he's not good for the competitive side of the game, nor is he good for the people that are like, we need more healers to choose from, because if you want to win, you kind of have to pick Gambit. Either that or you're doing triple healer. Which triple heals also suck, and they have been buffed throughout Season 5. Or they were buffed in Season 5, so didn't exactly help anything. But yeah, so that's my first hot topic video of Marvel Rivals. I don't know if it's actually all that accurate. I'm not some professional. I just know what I've seen, what I've played, you know. I know of a little bit. I like to think of myself as a thinker. But if you did enjoy, please do come back for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.